So, special guest Rudy is joining us because he wants to tell us a story, and now he's putting on a blanket.
This looks like a hobo.
Jesus Christ. Okay. Because he had this story that he thought would be funny, and he needed to tell us on the podcast. So, really, bro, can you? All right, let's just tell us this goddamn story so I can kick you off this.
I feel like with the sunglasses, I have to bring out. I gotta be a legend now. I gotta come with the spice, you know.
I just want you to know.
Forgot already.
I just want you to know the story's been built up, so now it has to deliver. It has to deliver.
No, man. You ever just blame your girlfriend for Jesus walking into your life?
No.
Can't say that I have.
No.
Look,
I'm happily single.
You need Jesus. No, man, it was just, I went out. I was like, I wanted to go to GameStop. Dan's already yelled at me for trading in things, but I think it justifies as to what I traded in. But
man's got 10 cents back.
Trust me, it was more of a last minute thing. I didn't realize Pokemon came out. There was a fucking madhouse in there. A guy went in there with a backpack. A guy came in there with a backpack with a parakeet on the back, and he walked in like that. And then you got a girl behind me who's just like, I'm gonna ask him what's the first Pokemon he ever played. And I'm like, this bitch better not talk to me. So before that though, I had no gas in my tank, and so I was like, all right, let me stop at 7-Eleven. So I go to 7-Eleven. This is the closest thing, I don't know about you guys, but Latinos, we don't start getting gas until the light come on, and then we know we got about 30 more miles, and then that's when we decide to get gas. So that's what happened to me. I stopped at 7-Eleven because I had to take a piss at the same time, and so I stop, I get out, and I go to get gas, and this man just waves me down. Now I'm not trying to be racist, right? In my experiences, a lot of Middle Eastern people, they rock a lot of jewelry. They rock a lot of gold. They like the bling. You know what I'm saying? So this guy had like 3 chains on, 6 rings on, some bracelets.
Sure he was Middle Eastern?
No, that was the thing. I thought he was, right? I thought he was.
Because technically, so if you're from, I guess Middle Eastern is more than just the Arabs, right? But for the most part, Arab or Muslim men can't wear gold. So,
see, the average person doesn't know this, Aslam.
I understand this, so that's why I'm questioning if he's middle. It's a religious. Muslim men can't wear gold or silk, as decreed by the Prophet.
Or silk.
Yeah.
What about, so do Indians wear a lot of gold?
Yes.
All right, cool. Because I thought he was Indian. I didn't want to say it on the podcast, but since I know now that they wear that, let's not disassociate them. You know what I'm saying?
So you went for Middle Eastern? That's not better.
Well, I try to generalize.
See, that was the racist part. You could have just said, and Indians aren't Middle Eastern; they're Asian.
I know. I didn't want to say Asians either, because then people. You see, we're getting too racial in it. We're getting too. I say Asian.
Yeah, because you're stupid.
A color. I'm just saying, if I said Asian,
okay, go.
All
right,
you gotta live up to the hype.
There was an Indian guy wearing a lot of jewelry.
So I thought the guy was Indian. He was rocking a whole bunch of jewelry, and then he started speaking Spanish to me. So I was completely thrown off. I know what the fuck was happening.
So Dominican?
No. Oh, see, now who's racist? So
the dark ones.
He started speaking. Speaking Spanish to me. You got dark ass Puerto Ricans out there. Dan knows. And
don't bring me into this. Tell your story.
You gave out those empanadas.
Get up and
yeah. So he had a bunch of fucking gold on him, and then he's like waving me down, and I'm just like, oh fuck, I don't know what he wants, but okay, let me go over there. And then he's just like, yeah, he's like,
no, he could be Cuban.
No, I'm gonna get to that. He was Puerto Rican.
Okay.
He was Puerto Rican.
Okay.
Yeah, it was the weirdest thing in the world. So I go up there and I'm like, he's like, you speak Spanish? Like he says this all in Spanish. I'm like, yeah, a little bit. And then starts fucking blah 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 blah. Nueva York. I was like, I don't know what the fuck he's going. I was like, all I heard was Nueva York, and I need some and then he takes off a ring and hands it to me. And I'm just like,
the fuck?
I'm like, I don't know what's happening here. Like,
for those of you who don't know, Rudy currently lives in Florida, and this person, speaks Spanish. And
You just agreed to take him to New York for a ring.
So imagine you're at a gas station. You're just trying to get some gas. You ain't even got enough, right? I'm just trying to get $10 because my paycheck comes tomorrow. So I go and you see an Indian who you think is an Indian guy rocking a whole bunch of jewelry, starts speaking Spanish and is handing you jewelry, hands you one of his rings. He said, "Here you go." And so what he was trying to say was that something, New York, I ain't got gas. Here's a ring. And I was like, I don't know where the fuck we're going with this. But so he was trying to say, I don't have any money. Can I get some gas? Like, can you put some gas in my tank? I'll give you my ring. I'm trying to get to New York. Now, I came from Jersey. It's about a fucking 18-hour drive. He ain't going to get there on one tank of gas. So I don't even know what the fuck this guy was thinking. But I was like, okay. I'm not taking that ring and I'm not touching you, COVID. And so I was just concerned. But then I was like, you got any ID on you? I felt like a cop. And I was like, got any ID on you? And he was just like, no, I lost my wallet. And I'm like, anybody got ID in this car? And his wife is in the passenger seat. She's like, no. And then they got kids in the back seat. And I'm like, damn. what the fuck is going on out here? I'm trying to piece all this together. I'm like, so you're trying to get to New York. You need my money to get to New York, and you trying to give me one of these rings. I'm like, all right, I'm like, you know what? Hold on to your ring. Give me a second. So I go back to my side because I'm on one side of the tank. He's on the other side of the pump. And I'm trying to transfer money from my savings to my checking because I'm fucking broke. I'm trying to just move $10 from my checking to my savings to my checking so I could get gas. And I was only gonna put $10. Come on, who the fuck fills up their tank at 7-Eleven? So I was gonna put $10, but I'm like, I can't focus on my tank and his tank. So I'm trying to transfer the money. He's like, and then all you hear from him is, everything okay? And I'm just like, yeah, everything's fine over here. I'm just trying to transfer some money. Give me a second. So I put money on my pump. I put the thing in my car, and I fucking just put it on fill up because I'm not gonna sit there and wait for it. I go back this side. I'm like, all right, bro, I got you. Because in my mind, I'm like, this might be Jesus. You don't want to get to heaven and then you walk to the pearly gates and then Jesus is like, yo, you remember that Puerto Rican? That was me. And then fucking shuts the door on your ass. Like, I don't want that. Like, that's not what I'm about in this world.
There's nothing more than I want
Jesus is like, you denied my
remember
ring.
that Puerto Rican? That was me.
You know what Puerto Rican was me? Remember you didn't take my rings. And I was like, shit. God. So then I'm like, all right, you know what? So I go to the other side. I'm like, I got you. So I'm about to go put the card in, and he's about to open the door. And I'm like, yo, bro, your gas thing ain't even on this side of the car. Now I'm feeling really weird right now. I'm like, I ain't getting no Amber Alerts. I'm like, this man might have stole this fucking car. And then I'm like, all right. So then he pulls around to bring it to the other side. And I'm like, this man don't even got a New York license plate. I'm like, all right, bro, I'm just going to hook you up because you got kids in the car, and I ain't trying to be that guy. So then I was like, oh, how much do you need? He was like, oh, just $10. And I'm like, the fuck you gonna go with $10? You can't get down the block with $10. I'm like, all right, bro, you know what? You got kids.
He's like, New York.
Right. He kept saying
he's
New
Jesus.
York.
He's gonna turn that $10 into a full tank of gas.
He's about to hustle that.
So, he said $10. I was like, you know what? All right, man, just make it 20. He said 20. I was like, yeah. He's like, oh, thank you. God bless you. God bless you. I was like, yeah, sure. I was like, whatever.
And he's saying all this in Spanish, right?
Yeah, except for the God bless you. Like, it was kind of weird because after he didn't speak Spanish, then he was like, it kind of was like, where are you from? And I was like, oh, New Jersey. And he was like, oh, Georgia? And I was like, oh, shit. And then I was like,
what?
They
don't even sound alike.
Not for nothing. And a lot of Puerto Rican people don't know what New Jersey is. It doesn't exist. It's New York, or it's just allá afuera. It means out there.
It was the most awkward thing. So then I'm like, as I'm pumping the gas, I'm like, $20 ain't gonna get you the whole way. And then he just looks at me. I'm like, all right.
He's like, I got this.
Yeah,
I got this.
He's like, thank you. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about the next part of this. And I'm just like, I gave him $20. It actually came out to $20.04. The motherfucker didn't stop on time. And then he said thank you. His wife said God bless you, and they just disappeared.
You can like tell the pump to only put $20, and it'll stop exactly at $20.
Yeah, I know, but see down here, you could just click it till you get to 20, and then just you got to be good with it. Though.
No, I mean you can do that up here too, But the smarter thing to do is be like, I only want $20, so it stops at $20.
In Rudy's defense, now that I no longer live in New Jersey and I have to pump my own gas, I do the same thing. It's like I just want to impress myself by making sure I stop on the 20 as opposed to.
I just wanted to get away with this. Maybe this guy was Jesus. Maybe this guy wasn't Jesus. I want him to go away. For all I know, people were getting kidnapped in that car. The kids might have kidnapped him. I don't know what the fuck happened.
He probably sucked out that $20 of gas and sold it to somebody else for $30.
I don't even understand. I'm like, and this car looked like a piece of shit. Like, I'm like, you ain't gonna make it. And yeah, he said thank you. She said thank you, and then they just drove off. And it was weird. You know, normally you feel good after doing a good deed, but I just felt wrong. Like, I felt like something was wrong. Like. But you know what? I'm telling you, if I get up there, Jesus is gonna be like, "That was me. I was that Puerto Rican. You should have taken my ring."
Well, hopefully we don't see this shit on the news later on. Where
I really hope it was a Mitsubishi. It was a silver Mitsubishi crossover. It was a silver. I should have fucking taken a picture of the license plate. It was a silver Mitsubishi crossover with a Florida license plate on the back. He looked Indian, but he was Puerto Rican with a bunch of gold rings on. His wife, I mean, she looked like he beat the shit out of her. She looked tired. She looked old. That might not have been his woman. I don't know, but she looked like a wreck. And he said there were kids in the back. I didn't look in the back seat. I didn't even look in the back. They had
this is getting
windows.
worse. This is getting worse.
Midgets.
The more you're describing, it's just like this is just a bad situation.
I'm just saying, and then I gotta fucking go to GameStop where. You just got a bunch of middle-aged men with fucking birds on their back just trying to get a Pokemon game. And they're pissed because you can't pre-order. Apparently, you can't pre-order the game the same day. So this motherfucker started. He's like, I don't get the bonus? I don't get the card? I'm like, let me get the fuck out of here. Like, I just...
What were you doing at GameStop?
Oh, so I was trading. So I got a free copy of Halo Infinite. Don't ask me how. And so I was just trading it in because I got Game Pass.